Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk to you about the importance of what you're putting out into the universe. And what I mean by that is, what energy are you putting out into the universe? Everything that we do comes back to us in one way or another. And every action, every thought, it causes a ripple effect. So sometimes that ripple effect is something positive. For example, if you decide to go get a cup of coffee and you just decide that you're going to pay for the car behind you so that they get a free cup of coffee. And then that person decides to pay for the car behind them, and it's kind of a chain that goes on. And it's not really even about paying for the coffee. I mean, maybe there's somebody that was in that line that really needed someone to pay for their coffee, but usually it's just a chain that keeps going on where people keep paying. You feel like you have to pay for the car behind them. But it's not really about paying for the coffee. It's about making someone's day. And when that happened, and it has happened to me, it's happened to me a couple of times. And when it happened to me, it was a surprise, but in a good way. You know, it was a nice surprise, like, oh, wow, there is still some good left in the world. There are still kind, caring people. And it really set the tone for the day for me. Like, it ensured that I had a good day. Because what better way to start off your day than by somebody saying, surprise, I wanted to do something nice for you. It's an awesome feeling, and it's someone you didn't even know. So it causes a ripple effect, because if it did that for me, it probably did that for all of the other people who had their coffees paid for. And maybe there was one person in that line of cars, the succession of cars, who really was struggling financially, and so paying for their coffee did even more for them. And that's a beautiful thing, that we are spreading good out into the world. And it can be as easy as just smiling at someone sometimes. I just had my evaluation with my principal the other day, and he said, one of the things that I really like is that you stand at the door and you greet your students when they come in. And there's a purpose for that. I do that because, and when I first started teaching, I didn't necessarily stand at the door. I was such a frazzled mess when I first started teaching, and I had to travel from room to room. So I was barely even getting in the door and getting my stuff settled before I could, get started. But now I make it a point to stand at the door and to say hi to them. And I know I've told this story before, but I think it bears repeating. I had a student one time who left a note on my desk that said, "Thank you for always smiling at us." And that really touched me, because I thought, what must be going on in that child's life that they're so appreciative that a teacher just smiles at the door? But it really is about making a connection with someone and being kind and showing them that you care. And there isn't enough of that in this world. I mean, we have students who have really built up walls around themselves because they're always on their phone. We went to a performance, a field trip on Wednesday, and it was about the Berlin Wall. And one of the dancers at the end, they had a question and answer session with the students, and it was really interesting to hear their perspective. She said, "What do you think the wall might represent for you?" And they said, society, and how we've become a society who doesn't interact with one another anymore. We don't make eye contact. We don't talk. We're just always on our phones. And you see it every day. You go to restaurants and you look around and everyone's on their phones. There might be a family of 4, and none of them are looking at each other or one another. They're just on their phones, having their dinner, but on their social media. And even when we go out to dinner, my mom will say, "Put your phones down," because she wants to have some, meaningful conversation and for us to visit, because really otherwise it's like you're in the same room, but you're not really communicating, you're not connecting. And so I thought that was an interesting observation, and I think that is what makes it even more important, that we are putting out this positive energy. On yesterday's podcast, Jay and I were both talking about how it's important that you surround yourself with people who are positive influences in your life, and it's true. And at the same time, it's also important that you are being the positive energy in your life too. So think about, what are you posting on social media? Because there are people that I follow, and some of you are my listeners, who post things that are hilarious, or you post things that are uplifting, and that is sending out like a positive ripple into the world, whether you believe it is or not. But somebody might be having a bad day, and they see your post, and then they start laughing, which can totally change their mood. Or maybe they're having a down day, and you post something inspirational, and it gives them the courage to keep going. We never know what people see and what effect it's going to have on people. So when you are taking the initiative to put out positive things, it is causing positive change in the world, and that always comes back to you. So it's, it's awesome when you can be the change that you wish to see in the world. You see that poster all the time, be the change you wish to see. But it's true, it does start with you. And like I said, it doesn't have to be something huge or major. A lot of people do go out and do these amazing projects and help and volunteer and do amazing things. And you hear about these kids who go out and they collect blankets for the homeless, and that's amazing and awesome that they do that. But it doesn't have to be something that requires a great deal of your time. It can be, but it can be something as simple as just smiling or being nice. You know how people talk about, some people have a resting bee face, you know what I mean? And we don't know what we look like when we're not smiling. Most of us aren't staring in a mirror 24/7. If you are, maybe you have problems. No, I'm just kidding. But most of us don't look in a mirror 24/7. So we don't know what we look like when we're not smiling. And that's why for me, I always try to smile, because I don't want to look like I'm a huge, mean person. I'm not going to do that. So I don't know what my resting face looks like, but I'm hoping it isn't angry. But you know how some people will see you and maybe you're not smiling, and so they think that, oh, you must be mad at them, or you're angry, or you're upset. And you're not. You're just going about your day, and life can be stressful. So sometimes that stress shows in your face, and it doesn't have anything to do with the people around you. It's just, this is the day I'm having, and this is what my face looks like after having survived an entire day of work. But other people can take that as, ooh, wow, that person's not very friendly, or they must be mad at me. So one simple thing you can do is just try to smile more. And this sounds stupid, but it's absolutely true. Even when you don't feel like smiling, they say you have to fake it to make it. If you start smiling, and even if you don't feel like it, for a little bit, it's like, for me, at least, this is what I find for myself, that I actually do start smiling, and I start getting in a better mood, and I start seeing things around me that make me want to smile more. But sometimes I don't feel like smiling. There are days in the middle of the school year when the flu has gone around like 50 million times, and now I've got it again, and I don't feel well, but I have to go to school because, I had an important lesson, and it's getting close to finals time. So I'm at the door, like coughing with a runny nose, can't hardly talk, and I don't feel like being there. I have to fake that smile sometimes, but I still do it, and it does help me to feel a little bit better, especially when students say, "How are you? Oh, it's good to see you," The fact that they appreciate you being there makes it worth everything. So it's important to smile even when you don't feel like it. On the reverse side of this, we can also put out negativity, and that will come back to us too. The actions that you take that are negative, or the way you treat people in a negative way, will also come back to you and also cause a ripple effect that goes out into the universe. Everything is energy, as I said, and every energy, it's out there, and it finds its way back to you, whether you want to call that karma, whatever you want to call that. So let me give you another example. Another positive way that you're leaving energy is several of you took time out of your day to leave a positive review for someone. That's sending positive energy. And when someone reads that and they're like, oh, thank you, that's positive energy. You've made someone's day and you've helped others to find something that might be helpful for them. And it doesn't take that much time for you, but it means a lot to a lot of people, and it is actually helping a lot of people. On the same hand, someone who takes their time and energy to leave a negative review is leaving a negative ripple and leaving negative energy in the universe. Because here's my theory on that. We can come across things we don't like. Let's say, for example, you go to a restaurant and you didn't like it and the service wasn't that great. You could choose to leave a terrible review for them. And you don't know if you had an off night or if the restaurant's bad, whatever. You leave a terrible review. You're putting some negative energy out there. What you could have done was just say, okay, well, we won't be going back to this restaurant. That's not negative energy or positive energy. It's not negative or positive. You're just really like, okay, well, we're not going to go back. That's your choice. You can do that. But you haven't done anything that would necessarily leave a negative effect. But let's say you leave this awful review and you're like, this place is the worst. The service was horrible. And you go on and on and on. And you know what? I'm here to tell you that we've all done this at some point in our lives. But you leave a negative review. So maybe you were just there on an off night and you leave this awful, scathing review. The owner sees it, heart sinks. This is my business, this is my baby. And this person left this horrible review. And so the owner, feels terrible. And maybe they hired a new server who didn't know what they were doing, and it was their first night. And so then the owner goes and yells at the new server. So that server feels terrible. And maybe someone else decides they're going to go try this restaurant, but they think, oh, let's read a review first. And they see that one. That's the first one that pops up. So like, oh, no, never mind. I'm not even going to bother with that restaurant. So as you can see, this one act, which may have seemed very benign and like nothing, no big deal, has affected a lot of people. And I'm not saying feel bad if you've ever left a negative review, but I'm just saying it takes time and energy for you to stop what you're doing and to leave something negative. And in reality, you could simply just say, okay, I'm not going there again. It's like when people listen to my podcast too. Some people like it and some people don't, and that's fine. But when you choose to leave a review for someone, other people see that and they're like, oh, should I listen to this podcast? Oh, look at that review. No. And so I think people just don't understand the negativity that they put out there, how that comes back. And that it affects a lot of people. It's like a ripple. Maybe somebody who needed to hear this won't hear it because they look at one review and go, I'm not going to listen to that. And I'm just giving you scenarios. There are other ways we can put out negative things too. Like if something happens, and we have all had these days where you wake up and everything that can go wrong seems to. You know, you get up, maybe you oversleep because your alarm didn't go off, and you go to get your cup of coffee and you spill it all over yourself and burn your hand. And then, like, I've had days like this. And, like, in one of those days, I think I dropped my blush and it, like, broke into 15 million pieces all over the floor. And then you had pink stuff all over the floor. I mean, and I have a white bathroom floor. I'm like, really? So you've had those days. But you have a choice. Do you continue that bad day and go out and then give everyone an earful because you had a bad day? Or do you decide, no, even though these things happen to me and it's less than ideal and I'm not really thrilled about it, I'm not going to allow it to continue to cause me to have a bad day. I'm making a choice to go out and to have a good day and to spread positivity. Because it really is a choice. It's a choice we make every single second of every single day. Are we going to let things get to us? Are we going to allow circumstances that are beyond our control or things that are happening around us? Are we going to allow that to control what we do and to affect how we react to people around us? Because I will tell you that not too long ago, I was the type of person that if I was having a bad day, I didn't take it out on my kids, my students. I would take it out on my own children. I would come home and like yell at them, be like, your room's a mess, and just start screaming about all of the things that I was unhappy about with them. And that's horrible. Like, I should never have done that. And it's one of those, when you know better, you do better. It was after going through this whole transformation and understanding that everything is a choice and that every single action we take has a consequence, has a reaction. Everything we do affects everything else. It's all connected and we're all interconnected. And when we start realizing that, we can make better choices. And it's not something that happens overnight. It's not something that you can say, well, I'm always going to react positively from now on. It starts with you saying, yes, this is what I'm striving to do, but it's really about putting it into practice, because I am still learning every day how to control my reactions, how to keep myself from having a reaction negatively to things that I would not consider positive in my life. Because I don't walk around whistling and singing every day or singing like Mary Poppins. That's not reality. Reality is not that nothing negative ever happens. Negative things do happen to us because we're being tested. We're being tested about whether or not we're learning our lessons. When something negative happens, did you react to it, or did you just say, it's okay, even though I'm not necessarily thrilled about this, I know I'm being taken care of and there's nothing to worry about. So the choice is yours. What do you do? And you can choose whether you want to see positive things coming back to you or you want to see negative things coming back to you. And it doesn't take a major shift, really, to experience more positive in your life. It really does not. It starts by changing the little things, you know? Like when you're paying your bills. It can be a very scary thing if you're living on a tight budget. But saying to yourself, I'm always being provided for. I always have more than enough money. I'm so thankful I can pay all of my bills and still have money left over. Start shifting the way you see money and the way you talk about money, and you'll be amazed at how things change for you. Money is just energy, and it's not hard to come by. It can flow easily to you, but you have to be willing to let go of this rigidity in your mindset that you have towards money. We've all been conditioned to believe that it's too hard to make money, and that's not the case. as with other things, we're not just talking about money, but it's a shift in your mindset about everything in your life. You really have to be open to changing. It's about changing also the way that you think about everything in your life. If you have communication problems with your partner, it's changing the way that you talk to that person or the way that you see that person. It might be having to look at things from a different perspective. But everything that you put out into the universe comes back to you, and your thoughts become things. So if you think something negative, if you allow that to sit for too long, it becomes energy into the universe. So we have to be very, very careful about what we're thinking and being very in the present moment and shifting our thoughts. And if you are a person who was born with a negative mindset, you were conditioned by your upbringing to be very negative about things, as I was very negative all the time. And what I didn't know is that I was calling more of that into my life, and I was making myself frustrated, and I was making mountains out of molehills. But it's a choice every day. And if you're one of those people who's sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, that's me, I need to change my mindset, you can. You absolutely can. And it starts by making the choice that you're going to do that. One of the things that I designed my program, it used to be called A Purposeful Pilgrimage. Now it's Love Your Life, because I felt like a purposeful pilgrimage, at first I was like, oh, it's a journey for people. But then I realized it sounds like work. And it's not work. It's a program that just allows you to absolutely love your life and to live your best life, because one of the foundations is making small changes in your life. It doesn't have to be an overwhelming thing. It's designed to be a program to help you start shifting your mindset, to getting into a routine of using meditation, tapping, slowly changing your habits, the habits that really aren't serving you, but you're comfortable with it. So it's about getting out of those bad habits and replacing them with good habits. Habits that will cause you to see amazing shifts in your life. And the program is yours to keep forever when you enroll. And in programs like that, I find myself even going back to those programs after I've already finished them and going through them again just to reinforce what I've learned. In fact, I'm doing that right now. I took a course on loving relationships and how to connect with your partner. And I loved this course and I learned so much, but I took it over a year ago and I was like, you know what? I need to go back and refresh that. So I do. I go back and I refresh the courses that I take, and I go back and really just study over the materials again, and I find it helps even more, and I get something new out of it every time I do that. That's why I love those kinds of courses. And you can sign up for the Love Your Life course. It is a one-time payment of $88, or you can split the payment and pay $44 one month and $44 the next. It is an investment that is so worth it. I hope that you guys will take advantage of that and at least do something good for yourself, When we shift ourselves, we're shifting the collective in a good way. So I hope that you do that. So I wanted to pull a card for you guys from my new deck, Divine Whispers. I absolutely am so thrilled to be able to offer this deck to you. It was really just an honor to make this deck. I had so much fun doing it, and this card I love. It's Be a Beacon of Light for Others. You have come here with a mission, my dear soul. One part of that mission is to be a light for others in the world that so often feels dark. All too often, we see so much darkness in the world, so it is crucial for us to show others that there is still light. You can be a beacon of light just by showing the world your kindness. You might be asking yourself, what can I do? The answer is that it is the little things that matter most. Hold open a door for someone, smile, and say hi, or pay for someone's coffee. There are so many ways that we can show others our light. What will you do to show your light today? I love this, and I can't even make this stuff up. I picked this card and didn't even look at it. And I even mentioned the coffee story in the beginning of this podcast. I had no idea what card I had pulled. I didn't even look at it. And I love the universe. It's so amazing how many synchronicities we get to tell us, hey, you're on the right path. I love that. It's so cool. Well, the daily mantra on the card, there are a few. It says, today I will show up and let my light shine. Today I will show kindness towards others. I was born to shine. I give myself permission to shine my divine light. Be the light, spread the light. I just love that. The world needs more of your beautiful light, so shine it brightly. Shine it for the world to see. I want to thank you guys for being with me. As always, you can work with me. I have a number of services that I offer, and I have just updated my website. So I have added a video there to explain what a Reiki session with me is like. And I'm going to add more videos about my other services. They're already created. But I was having technology problems uploading the other videos because I think Mercury is in retrograde. So yeah, sure, why not? So everything was taking forever to load. But I do have those videos made, and I am going to upload those as well. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media. I go live on Facebook Mondays at 5:30 Central, where I do a free card reading. And I'm also starting to do readings on Instagram. So I have Instagram TV, the IGTV, and I will also go live from time to time. I'm just really wanting to get out there and reach as many people as possible. So don't forget to follow me, share my social media with others. Also, if you would share this podcast with others. I want to thank you for those of you who have left me reviews. I do go and read those, and I've just read the last few that were there. They are so sweet, and I want to thank you so much. It means the world to me. That is one of the best things you can do for me, is just to recommend me to others or to leave a review. It means absolutely everything to me, and I appreciate you so much for doing that. If you feel like you want to donate to this channel, I don't make any money from this podcast, and it does take about probably 6 or 7 hours out of my week to make, but I love doing it. But if you feel like an episode has really helped you and you'd like to donate, I would appreciate it. Any amount is just absolutely, absolutely wonderful. And again, it's about, putting positive energy out there. We're putting positive energy out there when we donate to people too. It's a positive energy exchange. So I like to donate to the people. I listen to a lot of people on YouTube, and I donate to them because I just feel like, they've helped me, so I want to help them back. So I want to thank you for those of you who work with me and who, again, leave me reviews. And those of you who are just following me, thank you. I love having you along for the ride. I love talking to the different members of my soul family and soul tribe. You guys are amazing people. It's so much fun to connect with you. We all have similar stories, which is great. I hope that you guys have an amazing day. If you would like to subscribe to my podcast, that helps people find me. Also, if you subscribe to my website, if you go to my website, there is it looks like a letter that says subscribe. You will receive a free morning and evening meditation just for subscribing. You can also now leave reviews on my website if you'd like. I have it set up for that. I'm trying to make things easier for my clients because I really do appreciate all of you. I hope that you have a fabulous rest of your day, and I hope that you can feel the huge amount of love and light that I'm sending to each and every one of you. Go out there today and shine your beautiful lights, and don't forget how truly beautiful, amazing, and loved you are. I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.